Hello and welcome to this session called 3 Killer Mobile Delphi or C++ Builder Applications and Developer View. In development, Delphi was used as a development tool, but all these could be done with a C++ Builder, so no limitations. So C++ Builder developer can find many useful things during the presentation. And let me please introduce ourselves. So you are hearing my voice. My name is Vsevolod Leonov. You just call me Seva. I'm Embarcadero MVP. But the main hero of this presentation is Vitaliy Krivyakov. He's really the team lead and expert of the 1S Rarus company, and he was really the lead of the team which realized these three applications. But truly speaking, they are not just simple like B2C game-like application. It's a part of a big enterprise system. All three applications, mobile applications we are going to discuss, were developed in 1S Rarus company. And let me please introduce the company to you. It's a well-known, very big Russian vendor of 1S enterprise platform. This platform is widely used to build systems for all purposes, to automate car services, transport management, shops, restaurants, accounting departments, trade management, and many different things. And this is a business. The business started since 1994, so it's quite mature, very mature, and maybe number one regarding this kind of platforms in Russia. And the company has more than 100,000 clients. I mean companies in Russia and CIS. Based on this 1S platform, 90 solutions were created for 17 verticals, and you can find more details using this link. Let me please tell you some more words regarding this platform. This is a platform, kind of core and database, and it has some mechanisms and programming language inside. So if you need to automate something, for example car service, you need to use a configuration. It means that if you use the configuration, all the entities, all the objects and concepts will be created inside this platform and stored in the database. And if you need to program some business logic, you can use the built-in language, a very popular language. Even this language, students of colleges in Russia, they use this language to study programming. So it's a kind of national standard, this 1S platform. If we are talking about the enterprise mobility, server side or server backend is obligatory. So you know that about 20% of the code lines or maybe manpower is for mobile client development, and 80% is consumed by backend in terms of development. And in our case, the 1S enterprise platform with the appropriate configuration was this ready backend with a quite developed advanced communication services. So it's easy to so you can have a web access to the server, or somehow build or connect with open protocols, some kind of thin clients, etc. So it was not a problem because the backend already existed. So if we're doing from scratch, we can, of course, yes, enterprise server with the Delphi. But in our case, it was almost done. And there were some challenges because the business processes are fast changing. So passing from desktop enterprise to mobile first, mobile only enterprise. So the developers should be ready to change the user interface and user interface, and because the connectivity is not of high quality, and so the developer should think first about how the changes should go from server to mobile device and back, and be ready for fast prototyping. And not only the data changes are critical, because quite often the configuration is also changed. It's easy in 1S enterprise platform to modify the configuration, add more fields, for example, or introduce new entity, or add the field in the reporting system. So in this case, the configuration and mobile application should be in sync. So it also should be kept. With all these challenges, the team started the development of 3 applications. First was the electronic menu for restaurants. Second was the mobile acceptance inspector assistant for car services. It means when you are going to pass your car for kind of reparation or just service. This should be done in mobile manner. I mean the primary examination of the car and setting the task, and etc., etc. And the third application is the cashier workplace or sales assistant. So, and of course, all these projects were done in turns, not simultaneously, but many similarities were in these projects, aside from Delphi as the mobile development tool. First application is the electronic menu for a restaurant, but not for one specific restaurant with one specific menu, but for any kind of restaurants. So the application should be universal. And let's consider the use case, this scenario, when first the restaurant has purchased some tablets, and tablets were then distributed on tables. And first you need to download the actual menu. So the special Zsync scanner library in Java was used in Delphi project to take QR code and then go to the centralized web server and download the description, the sections, the descriptions of dishes, and so all this content is dynamic, of course. And this application uses SOAP or XML with the XML to get things done, and all these competences came from the previous Delphi use time, because the team, the Vitaliy team, was Delphi centric, and now is Delphi centric development group. So this application seems quite simple. So, and it's not a killer, it's a proof point. But truly speaking, this application killed the idea of using Android Studio for this kind of project. So this is really a killer. As I said before, the market of this company and this solution is Russia and CIS, so no special means were taken to translate into English, for example. So you'll see some Cyrillics, some Russian letters. So, and this is the screen share of my tablet, and we can run this application in demo regime, not to scan the QR code for something. And this is quite a simple application. You can just select the first dishes and see soups. In Russia, soups are very popular, and then you can click on borscht. And so kind of very tasty soup, and read about this soup and understand what is made from, etc. And this is minestrone soup. It's Italian soup. Also, you can see and read. Oh, the idea is very simple, but this application is good for not only the tablets of specific resolution, but for smartphones, etc. Of course, this application was accepted by Google Play. You can find it, but you need to use Cyrillic letters. You can find and install and run it in demo regime. Finally, this application was not a killer, it was a helper, and helped the Delphi team to convince the management to keep Delphi as the mobile development tool. The application for car services, I call it Mobile Acceptance Inspector Assistant, but it's quite a horror title for this application. Truly speaking, it's easy to understand if you are going to pass your car for a car service, for the operation, etc. First, typically, some manager or maybe engineer or just serviceman, he accepts your car, examines, make some notes what to do, what to repair, some additional works, and basically he's using a sheet of paper and make some checkboxes or maybe some text. Then all this information is manually entered into this system, and so it's not good because of many reasons. And the speed and is not the primary. The primary is the quality, because in ideal case, and we'll see later, the worker should have a list of orders, list of requests, and maybe made previously by phone or by email, or even by email, and then all this should be done fast and with no errors. In this case, it is better to show rather than talk about. But before the demo, I'd like to say that this project is targeted to two platforms: Android, because of price reason again, and Windows. So Windows is good not only for debugging reasons because of the speed of compilation, etc., but Windows version of this system is actual and can be used together with the purely mobile version. So it's the not kind of stuff. It's a real multi-platform application. The interface is the same. So I have started the application. You can see a lot of Russian words, but anyhow, it's easy to understand that this is yesterday, this is today, this is tomorrow, and this is monitoring. But let's start from today. For today, we have a lot of orders, a lot of tasks with cars and car makes and name of client with the cell phone and different statuses. So you can just click this item, and you go into the order, client, name, phone, email, car make, plates, Renault, and the reason of the reason of this request. The reason is just regular service for 40,000 kilometers. You can see that the application is good. You could even have a pop-up keyboard. And second tab is the checklist. When you are passing your car away, and you should be sure that everything will be the same. And I mean the spare wheel or fire extinguisher, and what is your the gas in your tank, etc., and different options. And very important option is the examination. For example, if the car has some scratches or maybe some dents, it should be checked when the car is passed away. You are seeing a car schematic, and you can just long tap and then select a scratch. This is a scratch, and this and here some crack, and here poor car, so many damages. This is a dent, and you can use your camera to take a photo. Of course, photo can be taken on tablets, not with the desktop. The next is catalog. If you're a good businessman, you'll use any chance to sell something, of course. So for this particular car, we can the catalog is automatically filtered, and any compatible add-on upsell goods are here. So right now you can say that oh, we have a very good very good car alarm system compatible with your car, and you can also order this item, this good, right during this service works, maybe something like that, etc. This is a catalog taken from the platform, from the core system, and optimized or filtered for this specific car. And something should be added by notes like works and spare parts, additional auxiliary parts. For example, if your client is very sensitive, he may ask for mountain air to be pumped into your tires, for example, and you can just type here. A very interesting fact, but not just interesting, but powerful fact, powerful mechanism of this solution is the use of ORM, written in the mobile Delphi project. And of course, this ORM was developed with the Delphi. It's kind of in-house ORM system made by Vitaliy, and there are two main reasons of using ORM. Of course, we all know SQL, and we are crazy about object-oriented programming, so we like ORMs. But Vitaliy implemented this ORM because he wanted to split the responsibilities. So he was the principal developer of this ORM, and he implemented all the functionality, started from the left, starting from the objects, then their mapping into SQL and tables with SQLite, then sending them to the server-side ORM where the records or entities then were sending to the standard 1S enterprise platform. And the young developers involved in the project, they could be fully dedicated to the UI and UX according to the technical tasks set. This was the first reason. The second big reason is versioning. For example, the main server can be changed because it's also not static. So for the current configuration, some changes can be implemented, like, for example, adding some attribute to an entity then the only we need is to add the field in the class and with the corresponding attribute. Then using RTL, using the runtime information and or RM, everything will be fine. So the SQL is generated automatically, data are exchanged automatically, XML is generated automatically, so everything is fine. If we change something in the main server, we are also quite safe. If the client is old, the mobile client is old, no crashes, it will work as previously. And of course, later on, for these kind of for these generic systems based on the same enterprise platform, the only we need only to make the other mobile application with some different UI. The resting part of the system is the same. The transactional model was also implemented, so if we change something in the mobile application, changes first are done in the mobile client, then sent to the server side, then they should be implemented on the server in the database, then the flag is set as done, then sent back to the mobile client, and then this transaction is fixed. Summary for this application number 2. When building a user UI, the own component list was developed because at the time of the development, the standard components, list box or list view were not enough, and now it's a super fast list component. And tab control component was also developed by the team to support the swipe or slide. So maybe during the demo you may have seen that how smooth and with good animation effect the tabs were changing. So it was done by the team and even published the custom tab control component. From the viewpoint of from the component development, was just the same like VCL components. Windows deployment, Windows application was have been done continuously during all the development cycle for the sake of easy debugging. The final target was Android, and iOS now under the consideration, and the team is now getting ready for iOS. The score is 2.0 because the question regarding the Android was resolved. Android Studio was resolved completely. The team was ready to go further for the full-scale commercial development with the Delphi for mobile. And now let's go to the big goal, the real cool application, very functionally rich. And now we are coming to the final part of this presentation, and we are going to consider the third application, which is really killer because it's the functionality of this application is comparable to the desktop system. Very rich. It interacts with hardware and does many business-oriented things. It's a mobile workplace for cashier. This system was the application was initially targeted to Android and Windows. You know that there are some good models with Windows 32. So that was really multi-platform development. And this application turns a tablet, both Android-based or Windows-based tablet, into a fully functional workplace for consulting salespersons working in store, for cashiers, for couriers, for self-service kiosk, and even can be used for satisfaction evaluation tool and virtual fitting room, of course, virtual fitting room, and also can be used as the panels to expose some advertisement. Consulting salespersons, it's just a person who is selling right behind the right in store. He can help in finding goods or kind of commodities, clothes, home appliances, and etc., and can verify the actual prices and availability of the good in store. Can show additional pictures, not only what's there, and even can create an order. So these simple techniques really accelerate the business, improve the business. So sales go up, and no lines, no waiting. So it's very healthy for the reselling business, for retail business. For cashier, it's the same application, but it is used in little in close but a little different way. It is the solution to accept cash cards with the external point of sale terminal, and as this is a rather smart software, the bonus can be automatically assigned or entered manually. So we can then print out the receipt or cancel the receipt. We can open the preliminary receipt which was formed by internet or maybe a day before. As I already said, we can print out the receipt. It's obligatory in Russia. If you are purchasing something, you should be given with this kind of paper document. Otherwise, this is not legal. So this is also the special fiscal printer, and this workplace can support kind of return of goods if the purchaser is not satisfied. The cash box functionality is good, and this tablet can replace easily the kind of hardware cash box. No problem. Kiosk for self-services. If the tablet is fixed somewhere, the purchaser can find the good or make an order, and even order the delivery, provide feedback, or even post some complaint. In the simplest model, the application can be also used to collect some feedback just by pressing smile, green smile or red smile. And in idle time, the application can expose or rotate some video, some advertisement for occasional purchaser to draw attention and to execute some action. Interesting part of this software is workplace for courier. It's just the same as this workplace for salesperson, but the courier is enabled to modify an order. He can only deliver, show the order, check it, take cash or accept a credit card, print out the the receipt, and that's all. And of course, as the previous system, this is a mobile client for the enterprise platform with the configuration. So the problem of syncing the data from the mobile workplace to the core system should be also solved. And another module is the interaction with the unified state information system. In Russia, it's kind of a new law. Any selling of alcohol should be double checked by the system in store and the federal system. So the request and the query is sent to the federal server, federal cloud platform, and this is also implemented in this system. The documents are typical. It's the reports for sales, for returns, for orders, and for cash in, cash out, and also balance, sales, and revenue. It's interesting that to this mobile Delphi application, some peripheral hardware, third-party hardware, is connected via Bluetooth, and there are two types of connectivity. First is Bluetooth, and the hardware provides only the protocol, and in the second case, the devices was shipped with the Java libraries, and in both cases everything everything works fine in Delphi application for Android. These devices are barcode scanner to scan the barcode or QR code of some product, maybe acquiring terminal to accept payment with cards, and fiscal registrator or special printer to print out receipts. So we have a kind of a Windows desktop with a touch screen. Our Windows deployment is good. In this case, the other hardware can be connected via USB or COM port. The same with the other hardware. And we can also have the fully desktop-based workplace with absolutely the same function. In the end of the presentation and just before the final demo session, I'd like to stress that the UI and UX is very advanced. For example, for left-handed person, for right-handed person, there are options. So you can have the toolbar on the left side, the right side, depending on what hand do you use to hold your tablet, and pop-up toolbars with animation and even sounds. And once again, as we are not using some rigid server side, and this is a universal enterprise platform which is then configured to the different purposes. So this CASHIER workplace can be used for pharmacy, for bookstore, for car detail store, for home appliance store, for jewelry store, etc., etc. So these mobile solutions are really universal. This is a little demo for the third application. It is a Windows application, but on Android it looks absolutely the same, with a small correction for the Android as a platform. So this is the catalog of the goods, so we can select different section. For example, see the home appliance with where can we find something. We can click on some particular good and see the images we can buy if we need. Yes, the good is added to the cart. We see the ticket that something is there already. Cell phone, for example, we can change the layout. We can see the Sony, for example. Yes, can buy something like that. The point is that if you have a lot of these goods on this page, there is a special engine which make scrolling faster. So if you have maybe 1,000 of these pictures, they were not displayed at once. They will be changed as we scroll this panel. So if I have lots of these pictures, and in the real shop, we can have thousands of goods. The scrolling will be very fast. And if I select some good, I can see different images. If I have a barcode scanner, I can switch it on, but in case of mobile use, if I press the button on the scanner, the image will be loaded here automatically. So finally, I can also filter the products, the home appliances, TV sets, etc. And then I can go to my cart. Then I can return something or order something. I can use the order from already formed before. So, and I can pay with cash or I can pay with the card. And if the terminal for cards is connected via Bluetooth, I can just pop up my card and pay, and I'll have the receipt. So thank you for your attention. That's all, and a little summary in the end. First big result is that Delphi can do this. So all these fully functional enterprise scale B2B for mass usage application mobile is great. So, and that was not a surprise after the application I run. ORM was used very effectively for two reasons, and there was some little job to recompile ORM with the ARC compiler, ARC compiler support, but it's quite doable if you know what weak reference means. It's easy. Legacy code and competence, maybe more than 15 years or more than 10 years of Delphi development. All this is a big value for developer, including mobile applications. It was used by all means. There were no problems with hardware via Bluetooth, both with the Java libraries or just using a protocol. And this application is really multi-plat. All these applications are really multi-plat. Windows target platform was of course Android, but Windows was the main platform for development and debugging. And iOS is in roadmap. Windows and Android have just the same code base, about 98% of the same code, excepting some conditional compilation code, but primarily it's about the support of hardware scanners, barcode scanners, or some kind of hardware support, not of course the business logic. And iOS in roadmap, and the same is now under development for iOS. And at the moment there are no big problems if we are talking about the applied software like we considered today. Thank you for your time. And now we are in the Q&A session.
So there's a question here. Did you use Turbo Coco or did you use FireMonkey for the user interface?
This particular, not me, it's Vitaly's team. They used FireMonkey, and the project started 5 years ago. The first project when I was with Embarcadero, so we had a long talks with Vitaliy regarding how to use FireMonkey proper way. So with the styling. I did a little support for the team from inside Embarcadero, and this was initially a FireMonkey project. The first version, Delphi version, was XE5, and the FireMonkey was not so mature as today. And but Vitaliy, as a Delphi fan, was crazy about Delphi, and he believed in FireMonkey, and he made a great job to reject Android Studio and to continue using Delphi. And I was happy in Embarcadero because it was a good example that you can just select your career. You can start Android and Java today and be very fresh new Java developer, or you can use all your experience more than 10 years and continue with some new little competence in FireMonkey. This project was initially cross-platform because Android and Windows, and so it was first reason was the belief and the belief, and because Vitaliy was fanatic of Delphi, and yes, and second reason was that all the projects were initially intended to be as multi-plat, so otherwise Vitaliy will need to do both, to do Delphi for server side and for services, and Android and iOS. And what it was maybe it would not be accepted by on economical reasons. So the use of Delphi FMX did save this team as it was initially, and saved much money for the company. And Turbo Coco is a very fresh product, and Vitaliy checked Turbo Coco, tested, but his main goal is a multi-plat development. And in case of car service, it's very hard to imagine that servicemen will use iPad, modern iPads, because of they're expensive, yes. So the Android only, but mobile cashier workplace, of course, many luxury shops, they use iPads, not too much luxury, but maybe quite good shops, they do use iPads. So it's the current task to rebuild the project with for iOS. And you know that Windows tablets with 32-bit architecture, they also are in use. So this choice was made, yes, with good background. And Turbo Coco, maybe, I don't recommend Turbo Coco to Vitaliy, because Turbo Coco is I call it the last chance to keep Delphi developers with Delphi. So if, for example, your customer say, no, I want only Android Studio, you can say, okay, you have absolutely the same result. And this is true, but in other cases, it's okay to use FireMonkey, and all these projects, it's a good proof for this idea.
Yeah, I agree. FireMonkey offers a number of advantages over the native control or the platform controls. But so yeah, it's a good point. There's another question here though about controls, saying, did you use third party, or did Vitaliy use some third party controls, or did he make custom controls, or all of those pretty much stock Delphi controls just with some nice styles applied to them?
First, Vitaliy, as I mentioned, continues to be a great fan of Delphi, and he started earlier when not very much third-party components were available. Yes, it was quite long ago. No, I know that TMS is a fantastic component, and some current Delphi FMX components they are native, but at that times it was not so rich as a platform. So Vitaliy did use standard components and played with styles. And in the early stages, some components were reconstructed with the primitives, like taking a rectangle, taking a circle, and do it manually, not to build up a style and then implement, but just to draw a component. Yes, but then the team needed some components with maybe more specific behavior, like sliding, for example, or if you need to show something in a big grid, it's the question of functionality. So you needn't have a grid with maybe 1,000 rows. Yes, you need to have a very small grid and exchange lines in this grid to support the speed. So it's another question, and the same question was with the list box and list view. So smart components, not to create all the items. For example, if you upload 2,000 of items in the list box, you will some years ago, not now. The question was to make some custom components, and it was done. But now, you know that there are no spare time for developers, so no special efforts now is taken to change the custom components for standard components. So the reason was that time there were no components, but it was quite easy. Not easy, it was doable to make own custom FMX components. And it was done. And now for new project, of course, the team will analyze the current standard components and maybe third parties, like I mentioned TMS, only because I knew TMS was great since my Embarcadero time.
Yeah, TMS makes some great FireMonkey components. Mark's saying, you said that you use a Bluetooth terminal for payment between the tablet and terminal. Are there any security issues with using Bluetooth in that regard?
Truly speaking, I'll fix the question, and this is not, it's just a presentation, maybe a little an introduction to the system. And I asked Vitaliy, and Vitaliy agreed that after CodeRage, we'll make together a series of papers describing all the issues or maybe some points of additional attention for the mobile developer to when planning such a complicated system. Maybe yes, I'll ask Vitaliy later about the security issues for Bluetooth, but I don't think that it's a really problem, because there are lots of these kind of software, kind of devices. Maybe
I know that Bluetooth devices can be secured, so it probably depends on the device. You'd have to literally look at that particular device, because they do have quite a bit of security options available for them. So you'd have to look at that one and see, I guess.
Vitaliy answered me by Skype that
okay.
no security was mentioned as a big problem. So they've got the Bluetooth hardware like terminals, and they got the SDKs, and once they got only protocol, so they have no library. So and there were no issues in this case. So they, as a developer, they did as they were asked. So they were asked just to do the connectivity and sending some commands. So it was done. No issues. No special attention.
Okay, great to hear. Fantastic, Seva. Thank you so much for bringing that in and showing us all these great things. It's always exciting to see some of the potential of what can be done with Delphi and C++ Builder, and especially all these very cool applied applications like this.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your attention.
Yep.